So a while back, it was discovered that in one of the Fantasia movies, there was originally going to be a segment where all Disney princesses and princes, um, showed up with these baby carriages for this huge family reunion kind of thing. That was scrapped because it was kind of creepy. And I actually think that was a very good idea. If you think about it, not a lot of like Disney characters have children. I mean, you have Ariel with Melody, and you have Simba with his daughter. But a lot of the mainstream princesses, which are some of the biggest symbols of Disney, do not have children despite being married. And I think that's actually a really, really good message for children. You can easily make the argument that like they never showed children because of the time limits of each film, but in my opinion, the way they show you that you don't need a child to have a happily ever after. Um, since these vlogs are supposed to be about me too, ever since I was a preteen, I've been asked about like if I've ever wanted children, and I've not, never, no. Mm-mm. It's not that I don't. It's not that I hate children. I mean, children can be adorable, or little demon spawns. It all depends. Um, but as myself, I do not wish to have children, and I do not believe I would have the capacity to have children. Not like physically, I mean like emotionally, I could not handle having a child. I could barely handle raising pets. I can barely handle taking care of myself. It's just for me in the long-term future, I don't need a child to feel happiness or satisfaction or to feel that my life has been complete. I don't need that. And I think that with the princes and princesses not having children, that kind of sends the same message. They're telling you you can still be happy with your friends and your family. You can still have a long way to go with all your life goals, and you can be content with that. You don't need children. Now, this is not to say that having children is a bad thing. Of course not. If you want to, just go right ahead. Have all the little ones you want. But it just feels to me that there's a lot of pressure for young women to have children as soon as possible. And that's not fair to them. We have such long lives ahead of us that why can't we, find out what we want to do first before we dedicate our lives to something or someone else? And it just feels like, with all the adoption agencies out there and all the children who need families, you don't need to make a family. You can go and find one, kind of. I know that probably sounds a little weird at the moment, but anyway. I guess what I'm saying is I'm glad that Disney has, stuck with only making a few families consisting of, young children. I do think that some of the princesses would make great mothers. They would be good at that. But to me, it's more of a choice. To me, they've chosen not to be mothers, and I think that's really great. There's a lot of underlying stuff you may not catch about the princesses upon first look, but to me, they would be pretty busy in their happily ever after. When when Jasmine's father, eventually dies, she and Aladdin will rule Agrabah, and that's probably going to be a very busy process, with laws and governing and all that stuff. And they may not have time for kids, or they just may not want them. That's just one example, but there's so much you can do in life that you don't have to have kids to feel, fully content. And I kind of hope that Disney doesn't, force it upon any other, princes and princesses. It's not that, I don't like Melody or Simba's daughter. I mean, I do. I thought those movies were pretty cute. It's just that I think the other ones are just fine the way they are. If they could make a movie or direct TV movie that, makes it work, makes really likable kids for those couples, then maybe I could approve of it. But for now, I like them the way they are. I like these little, families with their grandparents and aunts and uncles and friendly figures and animal stuff. I think that's fine as a family as it is, because, to have a family doesn't necessarily mean you have to have children. Family is defined in so many different ways by the bonds you make, and it's not necessarily by blood and relations. I have many close friends who I consider my sisters who are closer to me than my actual flesh and blood sisters. To me, they are family. And as long as I have them, I don't need children. I don't need anything else. And it seems to be an ongoing tradition to make princesses without kids, because we've had Tiana, we've had Rapunzel, and now we're getting Anna. Still a little wary about that movie, but we'll see. And we still haven't heard any little bouncy baby boys or giggly girls. And I'm content to leave things that way. So I'm probably rambling at this point. I think I should need to wrap it up. I think the princes and princesses and pretty much most Disney characters are fine without kids, but those who do are still great characters in of themselves. I'm just saying it's so great to have a choice, because with or without kids, happiness should be by your own definition. That sums it up. So have a magical day, everybody.